This episode is brought to you by Roon. Roon 1.8 is an immersive new music experience featuring a new look, new intelligence, and new features designed for music fanatics. Click the link in the description box below for more information.
Eisa, E-I-S-A, the Expert Imaging and Sound Association. I'm a member, and today we're going to talk about the hi-fi products that Eisa deemed award-worthy for 2022 and 2023. So Eisa comprises 61 members from around 30 countries. I think I've got that right. And some of them just run print magazines. Others run print magazines and websites. And then there are some publications, some members that are website only. And then there are some that have a website and a YouTube channel like me. And Eisa members are divided into 6 expert groups. So we have photography, home theatre audio, home theatre video, and then we've got in-car and mobile devices, and the group to which I belong, hi-fi. So essentially, Darko Audio is a member of the hi-fi expert group in Eisa. And every year, each expert group awards products that it considers to be the best, or the best in class, or the best available that year in their respective fields. So hi-fi group just looks at, in the main, hi-fi products. And like all associations, or most associations, Eisa works as a collective with an emphasis on collective responsibility. And members of each expert group may only nominate a product for an award if they have reviewed it for their publication. And similarly, once it's been nominated, only those who have reviewed that product can then vote for that product. But as it's an association, as it's a collective vote, no member knows how another member voted. It's all anonymously done. And to be nominated for an Eisa award, a product, generally speaking, must have been released or announced in the previous 12 months. Now, I've only been a member of Eisa since the end of 2019. And we all know what happened after the end of 2019, don't we? Which means that I've never attended the Eisa convention, which usually takes place in May. And this is where Eisa members convene to discuss new products, possible nominations, just to sort of bat ideas around a little bit, really. Similarly, I've never attended the Eisa awards meeting that usually takes place at the end of June. Again, because it hasn't run because of the pandemic. And this is where nominations are made and the confidential voting procedure is conducted. And during the pandemic, which is ongoing, Zoom meetings and email chains have done the heavy lifting in lieu of the convention and the awards meeting. And shouldering the burden of the admin that generates these Zoom meetings and email chains, and it is a burden, is Paul Miller. Paul Miller is the president of Eisa. And he also owns Hi-Fi News and Stereophile magazine. And as far as I can tell, Miller does an enormous amount of work behind the scenes to keep the Eisa train on its rails. He decides what happens and when. Now, the Eisa Awards are announced every August, usually in the middle of the month. And obviously there are Eisa Awards for every one of the 6 expert groups. And today we're going to focus on the Hi-Fi Awards, because this is a Hi-Fi channel. Normally, every member of Eisa puts the awards for their expert group and then the other expert groups in a more abbreviated fashion on their website and or in their print magazine. Now, I'm going to do that on my website, but I thought this year I'd also make this video. And to be clear, Eisa did not ask me to make this video. I simply wanted to. So let's get on with the awards, shall we? And I've grouped them differently to how I probably will put them on my website. And we'll start with the loudspeakers, because the Eisa Floor Standing Loudspeaker Award for 2022 2022/23 goes to the Paradigm Founder 120H. This is a floor standing loudspeaker, obviously. It's a passive loudspeaker. I haven't personally heard it, but this is what the rest of Eisa voted as being the best in their eyes and ears floor standing speaker for this year. Moving forwards, I'm obviously not going to keep saying 2022/23 because it's a real mouthful and it's a pain. But the Eisa award for the wireless floor standing speaker of the year goes to, and you can see him behind me, the KEF LS60 Wireless. I've made a video about these. I'll put the link up here if you want to click that. But obviously, no, I can't tell you if I voted for these KEFs or not, because that would break the confidentiality collective agreement that Eisa members have. We tend not to hear too much about on-wall loudspeakers. And I don't really cover them because, well, I've got panels on my wall behind me, so it's kind of a pain to keep drilling holes, basically, hang up new speakers. But as many recording studio owners will attest, one of the best places to put loudspeakers is actually in the wall. And the second best place is kind of on the wall if they're a low profile. So the Eisa award for the wireless on-wall loudspeaker of the year goes to a product from System Audio, and it's called the Legend 7.2 Silverback. It's an on-wall loudspeaker. It's an active loudspeaker. It talks to an external streaming hub over Eisa. And so all you need basically is just the two loudspeakers and the hub, and you're good to go. Now, another product category that I tend not to speak too much about is the sort of all-in-one single speaker category. But Eisa have given an award to a product in this category this year. So the Eisa all-in-one speaker award for this year goes to the Sonus faber Omnia. So it's a streaming active loudspeaker that does stereo. It's about this big. And I believe it also has an Phono input for connecting a turntable. So this is useful for people who are limited on space, who don't want two speakers taking over their lounge room and want a more sort of stylish, I'm going to stop short of saying lifestyle, but a more stylish, singular product. And yeah, they don't want hi-fi to take over their life, so they get something like the Omnia. However, the award from Eisa for the best value wireless loudspeakers for this year goes to a product that we reviewed very, very recently. And that is the SVS Prime Wireless Pro. And again, I'll put a link up here and in the description box below, so you can watch that. Let's move away from loudspeakers towards electronics, and the Eisa award for the best value stereo system goes to two products, a CD player and an amplifier from Denon. And they are the PMA 900HNE and the DCD 900NE. What a mouthful those two give us. However, it should be pointed out that the Denon amplifier here is a network streaming amplifier. But if we want something a little bit more luxurious that doesn't do streaming, we have to look to a company like Rotel, because Rotel have been awarded the Stereo System of the Year for their RA6000 amplifier and their DT6000 CD player. However, if you think that a high-end stereo system should comprise a pair of loudspeakers and a stereo amplifier, then Eisa also has you covered. So winning the award for the high-end stereo system for this year are the Moon Voice 22 stand-mount loudspeakers and the Ace streaming amplifier. Sometimes I call streaming amplifiers super integrateds because they have a DAC inside and they have a streaming board inside. And winning the Eisa award for the streaming amplifier of the year is the Roksan Attessa, which I think is a more affordable streaming amplifier. However, a little bit more expensive is a product that we reviewed recently, and that's the Marantz Model 40N. And that wins the Eisa award this year for the smart amplifier of the year. I haven't reviewed any turntables this year, However, the Eisa collective have. And one of the themes that I noticed this year was an emphasis on balanced connections. So Pro-Ject introduced us to the X2B turntable, which has a balanced output. So if you put a moving coil cartridge on that turntable, you can tap a balanced signal and send it into the Phono box S3B. And so you get a balanced signal all the way from the cartridge basically into your amp. So I think that's pretty cool, and that wins the Eisa award for the best vinyl system for this year. However, that balanced connection theme also carries over to the product that wins the best turntable award for this year. And that is the Thorens, I think that's the German way to say it, but Thorens is how most people say it. That's the TD 1500 turntable, which also has balanced connections on the back, although I think it has full-size XLR sockets, whereas the Pro-Ject has mini XLR and you need to get their optional adapter cable. Of course, those two turntables or turntable systems aren't crazy cheap. So Eisa has, it's an association, so it's singular. Eisa has awarded the Argon Audio TT4 turntable as best value turntable of the year. So let's talk about streaming audio. So basically a streamer and a DAC. So Eisa's award for DAC of the year goes to the Musical Fidelity M6x. That's a new full width DAC from Musical Fidelity. It has a lot of LEDs on the front, quite a few buttons. It's a tinkerer's dream basically. And then Eisa's Streamer of the Year award goes to Primare for their NP5 Prisma MK2 streamer, which is basically a digital only streamer. It only has digital outputs, there's no DAC inside, so you could basically use that to feed the Musical Fidelity DAC. Yes, Eisa people listen to headphones, and the Eisa Headphone Amplifier of the Year award goes to a product from Poland, the Ferrum Audio OOR, and the Eisa award for high-end headphones of the year goes to Romania. It goes to Meze Audio for their Elite headphone, which I own. It's a fantastic headphone. And the Eisa award for headphone system of the year goes to a 3-box stack from EarMen, which is the CH amp, the Tradutto, and the Staccato. 3 individual boxes stacked up, each performing a separate role. Now, sometimes the work of one expert group bleeds into the work of another expert group. So we've got 2 awards here that are Hi-Fi Group awards, but they're also being sort of co-announced or combined with awards from the Mobile Devices Expert Group. So the first one is for a mobile DAC/headphone amplifier. And this comes from, I think they're in Southport in the UK. It's Hi-Fi Audio. Their XDSD Griffin DAC/headphone amplifier gets the Eisa award this year for Mobile DAC of the Year. And getting the award for Wireless Headphones of the Year are the Sony WH-1000XM5. And I own both of these products, both the Hi-Fi and the Sony headphones, and I use both of them. I won't say daily, but I use them weekly. I think they're fantastic products. But once again, obviously, I cannot tell you if I voted for those products, because that would break Eisa's collective responsibility to all of its members to keep their votes confidential. And lastly, we have 2 awards that are presented or announced in conjunction with the Home Theatre Audio Expert Group. And the first one is for Eisa Power Amplifier of the Year, and that goes to the Primare A35.8, which is an 8-channel power amplifier. And then Eisa's award for the Loudspeakers Series of the Year, so a collection of loudspeakers that you might use in a home theatre or as a stereo pair, goes to the S Series from Perlisten. Now, announcing awards like this, I think, is a whatabouter's dream for the comment section. So before you leave a comment, please think about this. If you think a product should have won, but it didn't, then kindly accept that Eisa, as a collective with many members, didn't agree with you as an individual. These are products that are chosen by Eisa with many members as an association, not me personally, right? It's a group of people that vote on these things. Put it another way, I am basically a small cog in a much larger Eisa wheel. But still, if you thought this video was kind of interesting or entertaining, then please give us a like down below. If you have a comment that you would like to make, please do so politely. The emphasis here is on politely in the comment section below. And if you can accept that I really do want polite behavior in my comment section, then please consider subscribing to this channel. And as always, thank you ever so much for watching. Eisa, E-I-S-A, the expert and imaging sound. And Eisa members are divided into 7 expert groups. I've forgotten what they are already. So basically, and every year, these expert groups award products that they think, oh no. And to be nominated for an Eisa award, a product, generally speaking, must have been, and neither have I attended, oh God, and getting the award, the CA, I've forgotten what it is.